It was 29th May 1953. The British expedition with famous mountaineers including Edmund Hillary from New Zealand and Tenzing Norgay Sherpa from Nepal made the ascent of Mount Everest. It marked a record first, a historical event in human civilization, and opened to the world the mystery of the world's highest peak. The event not only created history, but opened the door of opportunity for the Sherpa people living in the shadow of Mount Everest. After the successful ascent of Everest, Sir Edmund Hillary returned to the area many times and had the opportunity to observe and experience the lives of the Sherpa people who lived without modern facilities like education and basic health care. Sir Edmund Hillary wanted to do something to help the Sherpa people, but he was not sure how. During his journey across the Tashi Lapcha Pass in search of the abominable snowman, the Yeti, he asked Urken Sherpa, his head guide, "What is the best way to help your people in Khumbu?" Urken replied immediately, "Our children have eyes, but they are blind without education. So please help build a school in Khumjung village." Urken's remarks touched Sir Edmund Hillary deeply, and in 1961 he built the first school in Khumjung village with the help of the local Sherpas. "47 scruffy children were enrolled in Khumjung School, the first of a series of education projects supported by the mountaineer." With the success of Khumjung School, Sir Edmund Hillary received more petitions from villagers surrounding Khumjung. Local communities wanted schools built in their villages. Sir Edmund Hillary founded the Himalayan Trust in New Zealand and began raising funds to respond to the petitions. The Himalayan Trust, over several decades, has built more than 27 schools in Solukhumbu district of Nepal. Sir Edmund Hillary himself was personally involved in the building of these schools. Today, the Himalayan Trust supports 63 schools in Solukhumbu district, including 27 schools established by the Trust in order to provide quality education to the students in these 63 schools. The Trust supports the schools by supplying necessary textbooks, stationery and furniture, managing, maintenance, rebuilding and extension of classrooms, providing scholarships, training of teachers, rewards and incentives to the teachers.
हिमालयन ट्रस्टबाट गर्ने जुन सहयोग छ त्यो चाहिँ उल्लेखनीय सहयोग नै मान्छौँ हामी। यी सर एडमन्ड हिलारी चाहिँ उहाँको देहान्त भए पनि विद्यालयलाई आवश्यक परेको खण्डमा उहाँहरूले चाहिँ बिल्डिङहरू बनाइदिने, नयाँ बिल्डिङहरू बनाइदिने त्यस्तो पनि गर्नुहुन्छ अहिले पनि।
Every year at the beginning of the academic school session, approximately 8 to 10 tons of supplies are delivered to these 63 schools. These supplies benefit more than 6,000 students. The enrollment of students in the schools supported by the Himalayan Trust is higher than in other schools, as required education materials are provided free of cost. Also, the quality of education in these schools is better as they have more varied resource materials.
हिमाली क्षेत्रमा चाहिँ यदि हिमालयन ट्रस्टको सहयोग नपाएको भए चाहिँ यहाँको शैक्षिक स्तर उकास्न सक्दैन थियो.
The 63 schools are grouped into 6 different clusters for more effective management and delivery and supervision of the supplies. In each of these clusters, a high school is made responsible for managing the supplies and maintaining a uniform academic calendar throughout the school year. Under this management system, Khumjung High School looks after the Khumjung cluster, which includes 6 schools. Students from the 5 peripheral schools in the surrounding villages later go to Khumjung for their high school education. More than 600 students study in these 6 schools. Chauri Kharka forms another cluster. Here, the Chauri Kharka High School is responsible for managing the 6 peripheral schools. Students from the peripheral schools later attend Chauri Kharka High School for their high school education. More than 1,000 students study in these 7 schools. Kharikhola cluster oversees 11 schools, with Kharikhola High School being responsible for managing the 10 peripheral schools. More than 1,300 students study in these 11 schools. Taksindu cluster has 10 schools. Taksindu High School is responsible for overseeing management of the surrounding 9 schools. Altogether, 900 students attend these 10 schools. Junbesi High School cluster includes 10 schools. More than 850 students attend these schools. Salleri cluster has 18 schools, and because of its location in the district capital, there are more schools than in other clusters. Managing 18 schools in one cluster is not easy, and therefore, this cluster is divided into 2 parts, Salleri Cluster 1 and Cluster 2. More than 1,800 students attend the 18 schools in Cluster 1 and 2.
यदि यो क्षेत्रमा सर एडमन्ड हिलारी नआइदिनु भएको भए र उहाँले शैक्षिक क्षेत्रमा विद्यालयहरू खोल्नेदेखि लिएर भवन निर्माण, फर्निचर निर्माण अनि विद्यालयलाई चाहिने आवश्यक भौतिक शैक्षिक सामग्रीहरू को व्यवस्था आदि उहाँले नगरिदिनु भएको भए यो जिल्लाको उत्तरी भेग सायद शिक्षा क्षेत्रबाट पछाडी पर्थ्यो जस्तो मलाई लाग्छ.
The Sherpa people living in the Everest region were not only deprived of education, but lacked access to basic health care. In early days, local villagers believed that any illness was the influence of ghosts, evil spirits, and other unseen forces. Illnesses were treated by local shamans or by lamas who practiced herbal medicine. The deficiency of iodine in the local diet resulted in goiter in adults and mental retardation in newborns. Many people succumbed to tuberculosis and other infectious diseases and died untimely deaths. Keeping these problems in view, the Himalayan Trust built the first hospital in Kunde village in 1966. It was run by volunteer doctors from New Zealand and Canada. Kunde Hospital started to give iodine injections to the local population, which resulted in successful eradication of goiter and in the birth of cretin children. Regular vaccinations brought fatal diseases like tuberculosis and other infectious diseases under control. The access to modern health facilities and medicine improved the general health condition of the people. The Kunde Hospital, built in 1966 by the Trust, has been upgraded with better physical and medical facilities, with free supply of medicines serving more than 10,000 patients every year. There are 6 village health clinics in the peripheral villages under the supervision of Kunde Hospital. These clinics play a significant role in providing primary health care and public health education to the people in this remote region. Kunde Hospital supervises the clinics and also provides refresher courses to the staff on a regular basis. Paplu Hospital was built by the Trust in 1975 to provide medical care to the more densely populated areas in the district capital of Solukhumbu. This hospital was managed directly by the Trust from 1975 to 1984 and was later handed over to the government of Nepal. The Himalayan Trust still continues to provide support with drugs, incentives to staff, and maintenance of the hospital in order to maintain the quality of healthcare services.
शिक्षा र स्वास्थ्यको मात्र होइन हरेक क्षेत्रमा उहाँको योगदान छ र यति उहाँले चाहिँ यो स्कुल र हस्पिटलहरू नबनाइदिएको भए हामी अहिले यो खुम्बु क्षेत्र रोल्पा डोल्पा अहिले जस्तो छ त्यस्तै चाहिँ हुन्थ्यो.
Today it is the district hospital of Solukhumbu and serves more than 20,000 patients every year.
अब यसलाई अब हाम्रो मेन च्यालेन्ज अब अथवा हाम्रो मेन एम भने नै यसले कसरी निरन्तरता दिने.
In early days, Khumbu Valley was not linked by any modern facilities of transportation. Porters walked for more than 18 days from the nearest city of Kathmandu, transporting supplies for schools and other development projects. Hillary, in order to avoid the 18 days walk for transporting building, education and medical supplies, built the Lukla airport in 1964. Lukla airport today is one of the busiest airports, serving more than 25,000 trekkers and mountaineers every year. This airport has changed the lifestyle of the Sherpa people living in the area. The government of Nepal has renamed the airport Tenzing Hillary Airport as a token of respect for their extraordinary achievement. The Himalayan Trust also helped build several new bridges across the rivers of Solukhumbu. Before the new bridges were built, many people and domestic animals were injured or killed while using the old bridges to cross the rivers. The Himalayan Trust also helped to improve fresh water supply in the villages by installing polythene pipes. Earlier, people spent several hours a day collecting water from natural springs and carrying them home in drums. The limited forest areas in the Everest region came under immense pressure during the 1970s due to increasing demands for fuel for cooking and heating purposes for both locals and tourists. There was no alternative source of energy. Increased demand for building lodges and tea shops to accommodate tourists also put tremendous pressure on the forests, which take a longer time to regenerate at high altitudes. As a result of the deforestation problem, in 1975, The government of Nepal established the Sagarmatha National Park with the cooperation of the New Zealand government. The Himalayan Trust, with financial assistance from the Sir Edmund Hillary Foundation of Canada, established 3 tree nurseries from 1979. These 3 nurseries produced more than 100,000 seedlings and were planted in suitable areas. These nurseries and plantation activities not only helped to recover the lost forests, but also helped to provide conservation awareness to the local community and outside visitors. At least 3 years of good care is required before a seedling is fully ready to be planted in the open areas. Until now, more than 1.5 million saplings have been successfully planted with satisfactory results. Today, in 30 years of hard work, one can see the difference of the landscapes with and without the trees. In respect of the local people's religious and traditional faith, the Himalayan Trust has been supporting the restoration and preservation of important local Buddhist sacred sites. Dozens of important monasteries have been rebuilt, restored, and maintained under this project. One of the most important restoration projects was the rebuilding of Tengboche Monastery at the gateway of Everest, which was completely destroyed by fire in 1989. Solukhumbu district, home of Mount Everest, is one of the 75 districts of Nepal with a population of 140,000 people of various ethnic groups. The Himalayan Trust projects do not encompass the entire area. The projects cover almost 2/3 of the area in the north, which consists of only about 1/3 of the population. The Himalayan Trust is a small organisation based in New Zealand, but its work in Solukhumbu over the last 50 years has touched many lives. There are reasons behind the success of the Trust's work. The Himalayan Trust works for the community at the request of the community, and the work has been continuous. Sir Edmund Hillary himself was involved in these projects, and his leadership and ability to work with the local people and culture played an important role. The Himalayan Trust enjoys strong and continued support from its partner organizations around the world. There is a great change in the life of a new generation of Sherpa people in Solukhumbu district. Unlike in the past, they do not have to work as porters nor as yak herders in the highland pastures of the Himalaya. Instead, many of them have achieved professional success as doctors, teachers, nurses, pilots, administrators, financial company owners, and successful business entrepreneurs. These are undoubtedly the results of the Himalayan Trust's continuous work in Solukhumbu for 50 long years. Sir Edmund Hillary passed away on 11th January 2008 in Auckland, New Zealand, and the Sherpa community continues to feel the loss of its guardian and patron. However, he lived a life full of achievements, adventures, love and satisfaction. His departure was honoured with a state funeral by the New Zealand government. In Nepal, several government and non-government organizations conducted prayers and held tributes for the eternal peace of his departed soul. Sir Edmund Hillary believed and often said that the true way to respect and honour his memory was to continue the legacy of his work in Solukhumbu district of Nepal.
We will continue to maintain the schools and the hospitals and the Solukhumbu needs in the future.
We do, and I'm aware that Ed, looking to the future, wants to know that the work of the Himalayan Trust is secure. We gave that some thought. Since 1965, when it was set up, the New Zealand governments have put in around $40,000 a year. That will be increasing from now by another $250,000 a year to $290,000 a year to help the Trust.